So as we enter 2021, last year was probably one of the most challenging, difficult year, and a year full of learning, tremendous growth, and lots of inspiration. And I was thinking about kind of teaching and wisdom that's been passed down to to 2021 as we enter this new era, new earth. And today happens to be the birthday of one of my dearest mentor, the creator of Isadora, Mark Coniglio. He just turned 60 today, entering into the in 16 Chinese culture, it's it's the most auspicious number, and I see it as entering into a age of guru, And so I'm thinking about today, and as we enter the new earth, and then about teaching and wisdom. So I like to take this moment to share a couple stories of where I've gone so far with the career, and what kind of things that Mark has taught me, and that is some kind of new discovery and epiphany that I had recently with working with media, arts, and performance. So as a lot of you may be familiar, that as in many cultures, before we do shows, we have to do rituals in order to get permission to access a space, right? Each space venues has its own host of spirits that's kind of governing and grounding the space. So before entering the space or before putting on a show in public, you kind of do a ceremony, a ritual, as to honor, to show respect, and to ask for permission to perform. And there are probably lots of story where the show goes wrong if the ceremony or the ritual hasn't been properly conducted. And it happens quite often with the work that I do as well. And so I've been thinking around a lot about spirituality and notional performance and how we create work. And recently I've been meditating and had this epiphany about what made sense to the past events that start to connecting the dots, And one of the events that the show was crashing, the software was crashing. I use this software called Isadora. It's made by Mark, and it's for audio-visual and live performance, interactive kind of a media programming for both video, sound, lights, and stuff like that. And it's like what the primary software I use. So I'm very dependent on this tool that is created by Mark, and I realized at certain time the software will crash, And then I know a lot of people talk about crashing the software, and they usually don't know the reason why. And they you think about people blame on the bugs, And some of the things are true, but I'm just giving a different perspective on why software crashes sometimes, And why I don't see software just as a tool, but something bigger than that. There were many incidents, and I'll just tell two. One of the incidents that I was doing this big show, more commercial project. The producer had a lot of money, and I know the producer quite well, and I was bitter about his money. And he hired me to do this big show, pay me a lot of money, and then at some point when I was rehearsing the show in the space that he was renting, and then someone was talking to me about about the show and stuff like that, and I just had a lot of ego. I was basically saying, I was making fun of the producer, how that the producer is putting so much money into this kind of stuff, and then I just started disrespecting the project because I didn't care about the project. I was there to make money, you know what I mean? And then I felt it was weird that I was like, like kind of flaunting about how I was there to just make money, and how I was proud of that, and to show off how I didn't care about the project, and just a lot of ego that was involved. And I was blowing my own ego, that the fact that I was bitter about not being rich, and that this person is rich and hiring me, so I to show some way to make myself feel better, right? And so after that moment, the software started crashing. Okay, so we're still in rehearsal. I think it was dress rehearsal, and then it was crashing, and I couldn't figure out why, And I restarted the computer a few times, and usually after start a computer a few times, I know, okay, it's not just the software, it's not just the computer, it's not just the hardware, it's something else. So I started doing the work on my own ego and just start reflecting. That's the time when you beg for help, right? Like and you want divine intervention of some sort. You just want anything to help you in that moment. So I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in metaphysics and spirituality. So that moment I started to channel. I was like, okay, here I need some help. I start calling out for spiritual support. And then the intuition started to arrive, and I start checking with my own ego, checking where I'm at, and I realized something started to emerge, and it was that I was insecure about my financial status, and I was using my insecurity to throw at the people who actually was supporting me, my work, and actually bring good things to the community, and I was bitter. And then I was disrespectful to the project, and the software didn't like that. Isadora didn't like that. So it was trying to teach me something there. And then so I started to apologize in the space, to the producer, just mentally, and then to calibrate that thoughts again, and then ground myself, thinking, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't disrespect the host. The producer was bringing money into this project. And then, I shouldn't bring so much ego into this project, and it's not fair. It's not the kind of energy I want to work with, and I want to put out. That's so I apologize to the whole thing, and then checking myself again, and then say, I'm ready to do the good work, and actually, I'm ready to collaborate and work with the flow of energy in the space and with the whole team here. And there was no crash after that. The software started working fine, and that we did a really, really good show, and it was very smooth in the end. And so I remember that was one of the first biggest moment. And then there was another project where I spent a lot of time trying to invent something new, and then there was an idea that I thought, someone was proposing, and then they didn't know how to do it, and I was like, okay, I think I can do it. And then I started making it, and I was really busy, with a lot of projects. So when I put time to something, I want to make sure it's done well and has the maximum output, right? So in the end, I made the thing work, and it was a really cool interactive system I created. And then in that moment, I just went over my head a little bit. So I was so proud of myself that I became a bit arrogant. I was in a space sharing this interactive system, and then rather than just sharing, I want to let everyone know that I created that. I just was trying to tell everybody that, hey, I made this. Okay, this is something I made. And then it was very ego driven again, that selfish ego, and the ego that just that was insecure too, that was saying oh, I want to make sure that this person knows that I made this one too, this person knows I made this one too, it's about me, it's about how I created this. But so I was putting that energy in the space when I was sharing, and then it started crashing. Isadora just didn't like that. Isadora did not like that energy, the kind of the mind, the kind of heart I was in at that moment, it was selfish, it was arrogant, and it was very ego driven again, and it was something started crashing, and then so that moment I was like, oh shit, and I couldn't figure out how to what's going on, and of course it was embarrassing, right? Because I turned from this arrogant, oh yeah, it's about me, what I did, you look at me, yeah, and then to oh shit, I gotta be quiet now, I gotta figure out what happened here. So it physically actually just turned down my ego, my arrogance, right off the bat, and then it was a long long time troubleshooting, and and I would say I've used the software over over a decade now, and and I to be honest, I couldn't figure out why, and after rebooting 3 times, I was thinking, damn, is it is it, is this it? And I checking myself again, again I do the same thing, calling out the spirit or channel to my own heart and soul and to the spirit in the space, and I was thinking like, yeah, it's true. Like, I need that moment to check in myself, and then again I apologize to the space and to my own soul, to the software, as well to Isadora, that I was using it from such a ill intention. And I mean, the intention wasn't ill; it was the fact that how I shared it wasn't the most respectful, and wasn't a very positive sharing kind of energy and wavelengths I was putting out, right? So then I gives my moment to just like checking myself and taught myself to learn from this again. I went too far. I mean, everyone makes mistakes, so that's like, take this moment to learn and get better with this, and then I calibrate my frequency and apologize to it, and then I adjust it and my intention, thoughts, and my mindset and my heart, how I was engaging with the space and the people around me, and with the software, the tool I'm using to share with the art. So, and then it started working again. There was no crashes after that, and just like it was smooth, and from that moment on, I was like, something is going on here. Something is happening consistently. You can say it's a fluke, coincidence, all that, sure, but I believe in synchronicity. I believe in alignment. I believe in everything happens for a good reason, in some way paving for something else, and it was clear to me that was teaching me in those moments, and so recently I've been doing more meditation work, and I start to connect the dots, like, oh my God, like, if you think about this whole idea of like energetic ripple effect, right? We seed some, we give seed to something, and then it grows in some way, right? And you have ripple effects. Everything we do has some kind of ripple effect out there, right? Energetically, thought-wise, consciously, the whole idea of karma, you think about Bashar's like the laws of universe, how what we put out is what we get back, right? And it's really similar to quantum physics and the physics of like entanglement, right? So, and even neuroscience too, it's proven that our thought process it changes the magnetic field around us, right? And those magnetic field changes, the field of energy, and everything in quantum physics is consists of energy, right? The protons and atoms, it's all just energy that's vibrating. So if you think about those notions, and I think about Mark, his kind heart, this like amazing person who has like such high level of a creative spirit, and who has kind of such a kind heart and a care for the community, who made this software primary for artists who wants to express their their creativity, their to free them from the limitation from conventional tool, right? And he created this software and community for us to share the love, and to be able to share our creative voice. And then imagine someone with that high energy and high vibration creating a software, and I would say that is implemented and coded into the software, pun intended, like coded into the software itself. Then this software as a tool or entity or consciousness on its own, right? The intricacy of software algorithm, and the quantum physics of consciousness, that's all implemented inside in so many invisible layers, right? And that is in there somewhere invisibly, So when I think about how the personality changes the way we make things, and then how the things we make might have a different effect to people. It's like you think about like how, there's certain, like when we make art, there's certain dance you just can feel something affects you so deeply, and they're doing very much. It doesn't have to be super physical, and it could be just something simple, but that artist is channeling and emanating this magnetic field that affects you invisibly, that your brain doesn't understand, but your body is feeling it, right? Your heart and body is both feeling it. And that and if you think about more like just like casual example, like how yeah, like I used to have bad digestion, so I've been like, working with TCM and doctor around like my digestion, and from all the experiment, I realized that when I eat my mom's cooking, my digestion does so much better than if I go out and eat, And people are thinking, oh, it's probably just the amount of salt and grease, oil that I use, But sometimes I will go out to just go to organic, places, and the result is still dramatically different. And I started to realize it's because, when someone is cooking with love in the food, the energetic and the magnetic field is also different, as well. The crystals and the molecule in that substance is also changed as well, right? So how does that resonate and with your body? Is it more in sync with the vibration in your body? So there's that example. I mean, of course, that the GMO chicken or like organic free-range chicken are gonna be different because the amount of torture that the animal has is gonna carry in the body too, right? So all this notion of that, and we can go as far as someone putting this kind of amazing, creative, and ethical and heartfelt vibration to a software, a tool. And that is being channeled through how you use it. And there's personality, there's spirituality, there's higher consciousness that's happening there. And and then so I felt like in the end, not only this amazing mentor, Mark, who's been teaching me about, life, and who taught me about media arts and tool, how to make performance and do interactive arts, and the life philosophy, the software that I'm using indirectly, that's created from him. Isadora has been teaching me about life as well, just the way how I use it and how I engage with it, and what kind of heart and mind I bring into the space when I use it too. It has a direct response to that. So I think unconsciously, invisibly, it's there still to like hold space for me, to bring me in the container of teaching, learning, and constantly, I guess, like facilitating this journey to lead me to learn to be a better person each day. I think each show. So yeah, I just thought to share this. It's teaching me about life. And yesterday I had a long conversation with Don Stelpiello, who is a co-artistic director of Trucker Ranch, and the same company that Mark and Don runs together. And we're just talking about, she was inviting me to teach USC in her new media dance class. And I was just thinking about how, we're talking about what we're going to talk to the student about, right? We're going to talk to USC student about like, dance and new media. And I thought to share this story about, so this story came out as like, the new media scene, the superficiality of like, capitalism, colonialism, like it has pushed us so far to like the way we work. We in 2020 we realized that it's not the proper way for humanity to function anymore. The way the system has like pushed us so far, that this invisible little virus really caused us to rethink about where we're at, and humanity as a whole, what we have been doing in the last decades, and what is the core value? Why do we exist? What's our purpose? And I'm thinking around, and when we go deeper, to the purpose of life, and as artists what we create, and I've been thinking about all this like spiritual practice actually that we do, and the neuroscience and science that's actually getting closer to get together to work together. Either they are from like very opposite of school of thought and thinking and field, right? Yeah. So rather than continue working in this kind of very very toxic masculine way of like, let's just keep grinding, keep pushing, and you just step over each other's like toes and face and just trying to like survive, and talk over each other, take out so much space, and and thinking about making art, as as a means of like survival and just kind of superficial manufacture of like colonial structure, and capitalism just keep producing shit that's like blah 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 blah, and see who has a bigger gun and who has a bigger projector, bigger lights, and see who wins in this game. Well, I think knowing these kind of amazing people, and with the wisdom and the teaching that's been happening, the way I've been learning from the universe, from Isadora, from these amazing mentors, I do say that things happens for a reason, and it's time to for radical change, and we can change from within, from the things we do, the things we are engaging with. They are also learning. We can learn from everything that's around us as well. And as I'm saying, I'm learning from the software teaching me how to be a better person each day, right? So I think wisdom and teaching and divinity can be found in so many places that we don't you don't need to ignore it, and don't need to look down on anything that's around us. Something immense and profound could be just right beside you. Yeah. So this is what I want to share today, and because Don was like, you gotta tell this to Mark, and I was like, I'm gonna make this as a birthday gift for Mark Coniglio. So happy birthday, Mark, as you enter the age of guru. You're an amazing artist and creator of this amazing software. My dearest mentor, who's continued to teach me and humanity on so many levels. And all of you who want to read his like recent post today about caring for each other, and really do the action of like be a better person, and think outside the box, and all the things are very very important. So I like to also take today to share this story with you all, and to pass down this amazing teaching and wisdom that I feel really lucky and fortunate and honored to receive, and to wish you all happy 2021. More challenges are going to come. More difficulties are going to come. More shit is going to go down. But we're going to be ready for it. We're just going to get stronger. We're going to keep growing, because we know we can. We have a lot of capacity to expand our heart, and as we raise our vibration, we put our heart in good places, and no complaints, just trust, and as you grow, we will constantly break through, and as a collective together, we are doing better, and we will do them better. Yeah. Okay. Lots of love, y'all.